RESERVOIR Media, a huge global music publishing company. They license out a huge back catalogue of very well-known and not so well-known artists, from everything from TV, adverts, NFTs, video games, the lot. At the moment they're receiving a lot of attention on social media, and they've got earnings out on Friday, but they could be a good undervalued growth stock for the future. I'm going to dig into the detail and see where that stock price may be heading next. So let's get on with that analysis. Just before we head into the charts, I wanted to jump into wallstreetodds.com site just to show you a few interesting bits of detail. And as you can see here, there's our ticker RSVR, and the 1 week watchers growth on StockTwits, 50,500% increase. Next one there, Getty Images, but we've looked at PGY on the YouTube channel recently, but in comparison really they stand out an absolute mile in terms of watchers growth. And if we dive into their actual analysis page on the Wall Street Odds, we can see that we've got earnings on Friday, August 5th, before market open. Analyst ratings bullish, recent news sentiment bullish, so all looking good there. And if we head on to earnings, what's been going on? Well, I haven't been around for that long as a public company. Day after return last time up 4%, week after -5%. A bit of a mixed bag really there, and some idea of where the sort of range is between price -10% nearly to nearly +5%, so you could expect that sort of movement on the stock. And a quick look at the social sentiment in a bit more detail. You can see how it's grown, the watchers change bars in the last day. And if we then head into those charts, first up is our weekly line chart, showing you clearly where it all started from, down here in January of 21, and since then really trend's been week down. Not very good performance since going live on the stock market, but we can see here this key area looks to be building around about $6 as support. So maybe this is the bounce, because I'm looking over here at the volume, massive volume levels around here, so I get interested when I see something like that. There's a lot of room to potentially get up to there before it starts to maybe slow down, and that would see you around about the $9.5–10 mark in there. So a lot going on, and a lot of key support areas. Here's another one in there at 7 1/3, around about there. And you can see a lot of historical price action sort of around there as well, which marries into, like we say, the price volume action at that level around 10. And you can see the top price is 11.5, so really it's got to fight through that 10 barrier before it can think of going up to say 13, or even heading towards 14. And what if you are bullish? Well, the 4 line break chart, good for reversals and getting back in, currently giving us a bullish signal. You can see there a couple of price levels, $8 if you're more conservative, 6 3/4 if you're a bit more aggressive in terms of price action for possible entries into RESERVOIR, like I say, if you are bullish. So something to think about there. And then the daily Heikin-Ashi chart, our signals at the moment, where it's bearish in the longer term trend and just crossing over to bearish in the shorter term. Volatility is down way below its average at about the early 30s, and it can spike up to sort of the 100 zones, which it has done around earnings in the past and other event situations. And if we head on to the price, then our long-term probability power box indicator 72.8% chance of an up move at these price levels, so that's encouraging. And if we marry that in with these red bars area, that's institutional power zones, that's creating support and resistance levels, and the price is smack bang in the middle of those, so that's also good, as that base we talked about around that $6 sort of dollar mark. The trend still down though, red shaded areas, we need that to turn green to give us better confirmation that the price is going to go and move on upwards. But you can see trend, like I said, has been suffering of late. It's down, and really I think it's a case of sitting and waiting and then jumping back in. But like I say, it's got like the probability power box, 72.8% chance of an up move from here, so it's all looking quite encouraging. But if we dive into the even more micro detail using the Req'd chart, 0.1 block size, what's that telling us? It's all bearish, I'm afraid, in terms of signals. It's more of a short-term indicator, remember. We can see that sort of price sort of support action around the $6, and every time it's bounced up. So if it continues on bouncing up, where could we see the price heading? In the real short term, it's that 7 sort of area, 7 1/3, sorry, and then if we can break down the next Fibonacci at 8.5 area, and then if it can get through those highs, we're talking around about $11.5, but fails and gets through that 6 area, then 4 1/3 and 3.5 wouldn't be out of the question to the downside. Now, in terms of options trade ideas here, heading into the first trade simulator, there's not a lot you can do with the options because there's not many strikes, expiries available for you. It's a small stock, liquidity's poor, so it is a risky business trading the options here. And I'll just put 1,000 hypothetical dollars into an example, and that will get you 153 shares. And if the price moves up, we can play around with the simulator. We can see if it got up to, I don't know, $10, you're looking at $535 profit, 53% return. And that brings me on to the call play here. We've got the October 21 2022 5 strike call. Remember, there's not many strikes about, and again, if that moves up to $10, that's $620 profit and 163% return. But if it all turns nasty, last example here, the put option, and if that moves on down, say it gets down to that area we talked about in the Req'd charts, in the 3s say, then you're going to make a 200% return and a $74 profit. But like I said, not much, optionality here to play around with to come up with strategies and ideas, but something just to get you thinking about, what you could potentially be trading. And if you're into CFDs and spread bets, then you're going to be able to go short or long quite easily. So now let's move on to giving Reservoir a score. So based purely off the technicals then, Reservoir Media, I'm going to give a neutral score at the moment. It has been trending down, but it looks like it's stabilising, consolidating. Now with earnings, big social media interest, that $6 area looks key to me. Below it, it slips on down into, horrible world. On the upside, if you can bounce from here, things turn around, $7.5, $8, $11 as we've looked at in those charts in the shorter term could be possible. High Kanashi there, all pretty neutral. The probability power score encouraging for us, 72.8% to the upside. Some aggressive entries as well, or conservative one if you want to too, on the 4-line break chart there, 6.75 and $8 to get in. Req'd, apart from signals, all pretty neutral. Like I say, building up for maybe a possible upside move. In terms of targets, upwise 2.33 and 4.33 to 1, and downside is 2.33 and 3 to 1. So overall, neutral at the moment in terms of score based off the technicals. So the fundamentals of Reservoir not looking too bad, especially that big back catalogue and licensing stuff they get up to. Charts, you know, it hasn't been a great history from going public, but things could have stabilised and has the potential there, you know, technically to get up into double digits, and if not further, especially if there's a lot of social media attention and interest placed upon them. Let me know in the comments below where you think they are heading next. Love to hear your thoughts and ideas, and if you've liked today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to smack that subs and bell button. It all helps the channel, and all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching, good luck with the trading, and I'll see you in the next video.